Hi all, Karissa coming at you from the LNC Bird Blind. We're going to be taking a look at feeder species today. If you are confident in your feeder species or want to watch this video without me talking in the background, you can click on the link that is below. I won't talk too much, but when birds come to the feeders, I'll just say a little bit about them and give you some tips and tricks to identifying birds as a beginner. This guy that's just landed on the feeder in the front is a downy woodpecker. And the first thing that I want to talk to you about is the body form or the shape of the bird, including the size. This is usually the first thing that I look at when trying to identify a new kind of bird. In the case of woodpeckers, they have a very distinct body form, even though they might vary in size. They're always going to be tall, upright, have those large feet, and a long pointed beak that is used for drilling holes into trees. There's a cardinal on the left side of the log back there, kind of hopping around. But you can definitely see that bright red color. Color is another great way to identify birds, but it can be a little tricky, so just be aware of that. When birds change their feather colors, or we call that a molt, between the breeding and off seasons, they can look a little more drab and not show the bright, beautiful colors that you learn to identify with. Also keep in mind that usually females of these brighter colored species will often look just brown, making them a little more difficult to key out. On the right side of your screen, you can see a tufted titmouse. These guys are little gray birds, almost the smallest birds we'll see out here, and they'll have a nice, cute little gray mohawk on the top of their head. there's another woodpecker that just came in, and that is our red-bellied woodpecker. It's kind of confusing because they actually have a red head and not a red belly. It'll probably stick around for a while. They'll go in and out to the feeders, taking a few seeds at a time. And there's our cardinal again, with that bright red color. Now, the females aren't as bright and beautiful as that, but you can definitely see their red mohawk and the orange beak that all cardinals will have, regardless if they are male or female. Now that we looked at the size and the body form, the color of the birds, the next thing we're going to look at and learn as beginners to birding is the behavior of the birds. So you'll see those woodpeckers are large and they're flying in and out to the feeders, while some smaller birds like the cardinal and there's a junco, they'll stay on the ground. Other small birds will go to the feeders. It's just about watching and learning the different behaviors of different birds. Oh, we have a blue jay on the windowsill. If we're using our bird characteristics, we're going to start with the size. It's a bigger bird, too large for the feeder, so it's going to come onto the windowsill. And there's that red-bellied woodpecker again. And there's that blue jay again. Again, it's a bigger bird if we're looking at the size. That blue color is very distinct. And the behavior, I talked about it being too large for the feeder, so it comes up to the windowsill where it has nice support. On the back right feeder, there is a pair of housefinches. And we'll just go through those bird ID characteristics again. So for the size or the form, they're smaller size, basic bird form. Color, that male is going to have a bright red head. They're kind of confused with a cardinal sometimes, but remember that cardinals always have that red mohawk and the bright orange beak. As for behavior, the finches will come to the feeder in pairs, so that's the female with the red male. They will stay at that feeder until something bigger comes along, like we see that woodpecker coming in and out, and they'll fly up to the top of the feeder to get away. Now I'm just going to sit back and let you watch and observe for a while, thinking of those 4 main characteristics that we talked about: the size, the form, colors, and behavior. I always find it really helpful to keep a journal to write down everything that I notice when I'm bird watching. I just want to point out another bird on the ground, which is the mourning dove. Kind of looks like a pigeon, and they are related, but the dove is a lot smaller, and it sticks around the more wooded areas. So keep that in mind, that habitat is a great thing to look at when you're birding. That's about it for today. Keep these basic birding tricks in mind, and you'll be a pro in no time. There are lots of birds, so definitely take it slow and learn as you go.